In the Liu Song of the southern dynasties, a historian sat in prison, still revising his manuscript. He was writing about Eastern Han scholars, more than 190 years of them, who dared defy palace eunuchs and would rather go to jail than bow their heads. Later he too died, not for writing history, but for plotting rebellion. Yet the book survived. We call it the Book of the Later Han. Sometimes the man who writes and the men he writes about seem centuries apart, yet they say the same thing: once you claim a name, you claim its price. Good evening. This is Bedside Book Voice. Tonight we read the Book of the Later Han. If you are already lying down, dim the lamp a little. Put the phone farther away. Pull the blanket up. If you heard our episode on the Book of Han, remember Ban Chao sketching the skeleton of a Western Han Empire. Tonight's book is the sequel and a different breath. Eastern Han is noisier, more fragmented, like a crowd in a room that keeps shrinking, yet still trying to stand straight. You do not need to read the whole work. Tonight we follow a few main lines: how consort kin and eunuchs took turns in power, what the partisan prohibitions were, what the pure stream scholars were fighting for, and where figures like Ban Chao, Zhang Heng, and Yuan stand in the record. Our reading list tags this book as partisan prohibitions and pure stream, the integrity of intellectuals and its cost. We will follow that. Nothing to memorize, nothing you must fully grasp, no notes. Fall asleep halfway? Remember only that integrity has a price. That is enough. Why did Fan Yi write pure stream integrity while joining a rebellion himself? Do not rush to answer. Keep it as a thread beside your pillow. When we reach the man himself, we will return. For tonight, know only this: the Book of the Later Han is not just a dynastic chronicle. It is also a story of scholars squeezed by power and still willing to write their names hard. First, meet the book. Among the 24 histories, the records of the grand historian spans all ages. The Book of Han covers Western Han to Wang Mang. The Book of the Later Han picks up Eastern Han, from Emperor Guangwu Liu Xiu founding the dynasty to Emperor Xian, Cao Pi's usurpation, and the fall of Han. 120 scrolls, annals, biographies, treatises. Fan Yi and Liu Song compiled, cut, and rewrote earlier Eastern Han histories. He did not invent everything from scratch, but he fixed the shape we read today. Jin Times already had Sima Biao's continued Book of Han, Yuan Han's Annals of Later Han, and others. Fan Yi selected, edited, and wrote especially strong in biographical narrative. It reads less like a dry report, more like flipping character files at night: how this person rose, how that one fell. Fan Yi, courtesy name Weizong, came from Nanyang, from a gentry family. He served as palace attendant and as prefect of Xuanqing. Fine writer, proud temperament. He began the Book of the Later Han at Xuanqing, they say, then was drawn into Kong Xixian's plot, imprisoned, manuscript unfinished. Emperor Yuan of Liu Song admired his talent and once considered pardon, then did not. Before execution, Fan Yi told his nephew, "I held high rank yet could not come or go as I wished, death is fitting." He spent a lifetime writing other people's endings. When his turn came, only a few cold lines remained. We need not make him a saint. Feel this: historians are living people. They take sides. They fall. Yet the chapters he left make Eastern Han faces brighter than in other versions. How did Eastern Han begin? At the end of Western Han, Wang Mang usurped the throne, renamed the state Xian, launched archaic reforms, and threw the realm into chaos. Green wood and red eyebrows rose, Liu clansmen took arms. Liu Xiu, a Han kinsman, won fame at Kunyang, few against many. The Book of the Later Han writes that battle tight, like lightning in a storm night. Later he became emperor, capital at Luoyang, Emperor Guangwu. Fan Yi's annals praise ruling with the soft way, rest for the people, merging commanderies, freeing slaves, tightening officials. Open the book and you breathe easier than at Western Han's end, war over, households returning, fields planted again. The 28 generals on Yuntai Terrace read like a founding staff list, Dengyu, Fengyi, Kosun, each with a biography. High merit without jealousy, that was Guangwu's rare gift. At Kunyang, records say Liu Xiu led thousands against Wang Mang's host of hundreds of thousands. Scholars dispute the numbers. Do not argue tonight. What matters is atmosphere, on one side the weight of Xian-era regular troops, on the other a kinsman general betting in despair. Liu Xiu was first to scale the wall and kill several men, morale held. This first descent is not a romance duel scene. The historian tells you, founding sometimes hangs on one person, at the crucial moment, willing to take one more step. Lying in bed, remember the step. Skip the full roster. After enthronement, Guangwu still spoke of the soft way. Not weakness, fewer killings, less upheaval, let the people breathe. He dined with meritorious ministers, talked homely things. Cases of executed founders were far fewer than under Liu Bang. Fengyi gives him imperial annals and also a side that did not chase frontier glory. When the Xiongnu came, negotiate if you can. Early Eastern Han feels like convalescence, broth first, meat later. Later emperors also wanted broth. But consort kin and eunuchs were already sitting by the pot. That ease was not permanent. Liu Xiu's realm passed to descendants. Under emperors Ming and Zhang came the rule of Ming and Zhang, and under Zhang the young Yuan flourishing, population up, burdens lighter. Historians treat this as Eastern Han's golden breath. Here it is warm background at night, lamp still bright, room still wide. Sadly, wide does not last. Fengyi also gives a striking note on Yan Guang, courtesy named Xiling, Liu Xiu's schoolmate. After Liu Xiu became emperor, he invited Yan to office. Yan slept in sheepskin on a fishing terrace and refused court. When Liu Xiu visited, Yan said, "In antiquity Yao offered the world to sue you without losing purity. Do you want me now because you fear scholars will laugh?" Yan returned to farming and fishing. Fengyi placed him in accounts of recluses. Stories like this are a cool night breeze. Even a founding emperor cannot keep every friend. Eastern Han scholars wanted glory or freedom. The history keeps both. After Emperor He, Emperor Xiang, and Emperor and child emperors followed in succession. Empresses dowager ruled, consort kin truly swelled. You may say Eastern Han fell to eunuchs, that fits. You may say consort kin broke the rules first, that also fits. Fengyi's annals and biographies are a line, emperors in the light, whoever steadied the child throne in the shadow. Read that shadow line and the second half stops feeling chaotic. Next, two words you cannot skip, consort kin and eunuchs. Consort kin are the emperor's mothers and wife's families. A boy emperor mounts the throne, the empress dowager rules, her kin hold power. Under Emperor Zhang, Do Xian, his sister empress, dominated, struck the Xiongnu north, climbed Mount Yanran, carved stone. Later ages speak of inscribing Yanran, his name is in that story. Merit-bred arrogance, he plotted, was ordered to die, allies purged, the template of consort kin falling from the peak. Later under Emperors Shun and Huan came Liangji, in power nearly 20 years. Tribute passed through his hands first, the overbearing general. Fengyi writes him fine and sharp, luxury, killings, even swapping emperors at will. Emperor Huan relied on 5 eunuchs including Shan Chao to kill Liangji. Confiscated wealth exceeded half a year's national rent. When one kinsman grows that fat, if the court does not kill him, the emperor cannot sleep. Eunuchs served the emperor in the palace. When a grown emperor wanted power back from consort kin, he often used eunuchs beside him. In mid and late Eastern Han, eunuchs could be in theft, command guards, join in killing consort kin, hence names like the 10 attendants enter the record. Under Emperor Ling, Zhang Rang, Zhao Zhong, and 8 others sold offices and priced ranks like goods. Consort kin and eunuchs are two ends of a seesaw, the emperor sits in the middle, raising one side then the other, scholars squeezed in the gap, suffering more each cycle. If daytime office politics exhausts you, think of Eastern Han, child emperor, consort kin rule, grown emperor allies with eunuchs to kill kin, eunuchs swell, scholars curse, emperor borrows scholars to hit eunuchs, then regrets it. Round and round. No winner, only the next round of hate. The value of history is to write the cycle clearly so you see, when the system rots, however clean the individual, the swirl still catches you. Under Emperor Huan 5 eunuchs including Ban Chao were in theft the same day, the 5 marquises. Scholars memorialized, eunuch fathers, brothers, sons, and nephews filled the provinces, greedy and cruel. Sometimes the emperor listened, sometimes not. When he acted, a few scapegoats died while the root remained. Emperor Ling was blunter, revenue from selling offices covers household expenses. The court was a leaking boat. Scholars wrote memorials on deck, eunuchs drilled holes below and sold tickets, passengers cursed each other's factions. In that air the pure stream did not appear from nowhere. It was forced to take a name so people could recognize each other. Now the heart of tonight, the partisan prohibitions. Under Emperor Huan eunuch power peaked. Imperial students and local famous scholars discussed government, attacked eunuchs, praised one another, built networks of reputation. Historians call them the pure stream, their foes the muddy stream, the labels themselves are taking sides. Li Ying, once intendant of Hunan, was rigid in character, students and former subordinates filled the realm. Eunuchs slipped denunciations to the emperor, Li Ying and others formed factions and slandered the court. Li Ying was arrested. At trial someone implicated him. Li Ying said, "That man was my student, he did no wrong, the fault is mine." The judge pressed faction charges. Li Ying said, "I recruited him because he was worthy, if unworthy I would not have recruited him." The logic still sounds hard today. I admit what I did, I reject your label. Eunuchs tried to make Li Ying name more men. Li Ying said, "You may deeply ban worthy men of the realm and fight the ruler for power, but you do not know the realm cannot be banned. You may seize us, you cannot seize every famous scholar under heaven." Words like thrusting your neck forward and tapping the other's face. Fanya's power on Li Ying is here, not a thug cursing, but a scholar answering with logic. The first prohibition sent Li Ying and others to prison, amnesty followed, but lifelong ban from office. The court also forbade scholars to call one another teacher or student, legally dismantling their social network. Yet reputation, once banned, spread wider. Chen Shi, old and of high virtue, eunuchs dared not touch easily, called Chen the High Mound. So many visitors his doorway ruts filled the road, records say carriages blocked the path. Not exaggeration, the pure stream had become another climate. Late in Huan's reign Chen Fan became Grand General, Dou held the guards. Together they tried to destroy the eunuchs and install Emperor Ling. The plot leaked, eunuchs struck back, Chen Fan and Dou died, the realm shook. Emperor Ling succeeded, eunuchs grew bolder, the second prohibition followed. Edicts listed partisans empire-wide, commanderies hunted them, some fled, some stayed. Fan Pang surrendered himself. His mother visited prison, he said, "To have a son like this, what regret." Li Ying and Fan Pang died in prison. Guo Tai led imperial students, fame enormous, eunuchs feared him yet could not find a handle, records say Liu Song cannot be harmed. Living, he became a banner of the pure stream, dead, crowds buried him. Fan Yi writes empty streets, a city sending off one scholar. Zhang Jian fled during the prohibitions, common people hid him, ruining families to shelter him. Fan Yi writes many doors opening at once in the night, the court calls you criminal, the village calls you a man of bone. The pure and pure stream sometimes needs no office, only ordinary people willing to bet once for you. Zhang Jian later fled beyond the frontier, returned, after Ling's death restrictions eased, he still became a court gentleman. Fate circled, the man lived, Eastern Han's breath did not return. Fan Peng in prison, his mother came, he said to have such a son, what regret? She answered, would you have me live unrighteous? I cannot bear to stay, and left. Fan Peng bade fellow prisoners farewell, going to the earth together, why rank by seniority? Mother, son, comrades, all choosing, yield or not. Fan Yi writes without big words, through dialogue. Eyes closed, you hear a low quarrel next door, was this breath worth it? On the surface the charge was faction forming. In substance the court forbade scholars to criticize eunuchs openly, students to discuss state affairs, clean fame to become a second power. Retreat meant the muddy stream one, advance meant prison, execution, lifelong ban. Integrity here is not a pretty phrase. It is choosing a side and carrying the cost. Fan Yi writes with warmth, he too was a scholar, he knew the price. The pure stream did not only curse eunuchs. They cared for learning, for reputation, for praising one another. Guo Tai judged character, Lin Zong's appraisals. Su Xiao held the monthly dawn rating, first of the month he ranked local figures, one phrase could fix worth. Like recommendations and word of mouth today, but in Eastern Han tied to office, marriage, friendship, social capital for scholars. Good fame made officials wary, peers respectful, students risk themselves for you. After prohibitions, the pure stream was banned and fame burned brighter, the more the court pressed, the more folk passed the names, like pushing a lamp under water, sparks flare. That light could not save Eastern Han. It left a template, a scholar may live without office, he cannot live without a name he owns. Fan Yi also wrote independent conduct and recluses, people off the common path. Fan Shi and Zhang Xiao kept the chicken and millet appointment 1,000 li away, after death a ghost at the beer, stories later ages love, recorded in independent conduct. Read beside partisan biographies and you feel Eastern Han scholar spirit held not only hardness but faith, to friends, to promises, to ritual they accepted. Hard and faithful sometimes share one bone. During prohibitions thousands of students knelt outside the palace for Li Ying and others. History does not dress it as romantic victory, the emperor did not truly listen. Yet the image of thousands kneeling deserves 1 second in bed, fame then could make people kneel. Did kneeling free them that night? No. Did it help later ages say the scholar may not be insulted? Yes. One thread binds the Book of Han and the Book of the later Han, the Ban family. Ban Biao continued after the records of the grand historian. Ban Gu finished the Book of Han. After Ban Gu's death Ban Chao completed tables and treatises, the Lady Chao tradition. Ban Chao was Ban Gu's younger brother but took another road. He threw down his brush, a great man should win merit in distant lands, earn enfeatment, how long can I serve ink and brush? He went west as envoy with 36 clerks, raided the Xiangnu envoy camp at Shanshan. If you do not enter the tiger's den, you cannot take the cub, and steadied the western regions. 30 years alone in the west, old, he asked to return, I dare not hope to reach Jiuquan commandery, I only wish to enter Yuan Pass alive. Fan Ye's biography is Eastern Han's brightest foreign affairs chapter, from a family of writers, a general in the far west holding the state's face. At night place him beside Ban Gu, one men's history, one widens borders, same blood, two lives. Ban Chao in the western regions relied on more than courage. He divided foes, waited, used local conflicts, pushed Xiongnu back, brought states to court again. The record's Ban Chao is not a romance shout to win hero. He is a middle-aged official far from home, turning the board inch by inch over decades. If daytime work feels distant and tiring, remember Ban Chao beyond Yuan also wrote soft words about entering the pass alive. Hard men still want home. Zhang Heng, a scientist, writer, from Nanyang, wrote the Rhapsody on the two capitals, long exposure of Chang'an and Luoyang splendor and waste. He built the seismoscope. Fan Yi records, bronze cast, dragon holding a ball, 8 dragon heads below each with a bronze ball. When the earth shook a dragon released a ball, the mechanism sounded, direction known. today an ancient earthquake alarm, then a scholar of subtle craft who did not only write. Zhang Heng held office, memorialized, lost in faction struggle. In the Book of the Later Han he is not a cold machine but a living man, star tracks, satirical rhapsody, frustration in politics. Ma Yuan, the wave-quelling general wrapped in horse leather comes from him. Emperor Guangwu asked his ambition. He said, a man should die on the frontier, return in horsehide shroud, how lie in children's hands. Old, he still asked to campaign, died in service, simple funeral. Fanny also writes his return from Zhuo with Job's tears, slandered as greedy, after death barred from the family grave, wife and children cut out an appeal. Merit as high as my Yuan could not escape one jealous line. History gives no perfect hero merit and slander on one scroll. Before death my Yuan told his nephew, tell your uncle to build merit, beware of changing your integrity for others. Guard integrity, not the same battlefield as Li Ying and Fan Pang's integrity, but the same character. Generals speak of dying on the frontier, scholars of dying in prison. Fanny gathers both in one night book, how a man dies sometimes shines more than how he lived. Zhang Heng built the seismoscope and wrote the Rhapsody of contemplating the mystery and rhapsody on returning to the fields, wanting fields when frustrated. Fanny calls him subtle in craft and notes he memorialized repeatedly to no effect, talented men who see problems yet cannot enter decisions. Zhang Heng was no partisan, but lived in their age, one measured earth tremors, one measured the court. Both read, unstable. Kailuan improved papermaking, Fanny gives him a chapter. Under Emperor Ling the Hongdu Gate School sold offices, priced the ladder of office, scholars despised the court yet still needed the list. Those who want to change the system sometimes must squeeze into it first, late Eastern Han's paradox. The Book of the Later Han also has a treatise on the western regions, states after Ban Chao read beside his biography like one roads past and present. Envoys, wars, marriage alliances on the Silk Road shine less than Ban Chao's chapter yet show, Eastern Han's frontier was never quiet. If maps interest you, draw a line in your head from Luoyang west through Yuan and beyond. Ban Chao's wish to enter Yuan alive weighs heavy on that line. Wang Chong wrote balanced discourses, Fan Yi gave no dedicated biography, yet the work matters in Eastern Han thought, superstition, fate, government. Stare only at biographies and you miss the intellectual layer. Much material was already lost in Fan Yi's time, he chose people, not books. For bedtime, people are enough, no balanced discourses exists, do not finish it tonight. We have finished the people. Turn the clock faster. After prohibitions Eastern Han was terminal. Emperor Ling's Western Garden sold offices for personal purse, public offices had price tags, scholars were ashamed, the court still sold. The Yellow Turban Rising, Zhang Jiao Brothers, Way of Supreme Peace, Blue Heaven is dead, Yellow Heaven shall rise, Yellow Turbans, response across the realm. Fan Yi treats Zhang Jiao through biographies like Huangfu songs, the rising like magma breaking ground. The court relied on local magnates and warlords to suppress Huangfu Song, Zhujun, Luji earned merit, the center grew weaker, troops in the provinces, power with warlords, the emperor became a seal machine. Zhang Jiao healed with charm water, gathered crowds through supreme peace, spread fast in Qing, Su, Yu, Ji. Call it religion, rebellion, outlet when medicine fails, all fit. The Book of the Later Han does not define him fully, it records outcome, rising in the 8th month, commanderies fell, capital shook. Cloth rebel rising at Eastern Han's end mirrors a court no one truly defended. The rising failed, Zhang Jiao died, remnants crushed, yet the crack opened, magnates and warlords grew from the seam. Who speaks for common people? Pure stream, Yellow Turbans, warlords? No easy answer. Pure stream mostly scholars, Yellow Turbans mostly poor farmers, warlords men with armies. Fan Yi's lens stays scholar official, yet when Yellow Turbans come the book's air changes, talk of integrity only after asking whether order remains. Order gone, integrity may remain, the state does not. Dong Zhuo entered the capital, a frontier general seizing chaos, deposing the young emperor, enthroning Emperor Xian, moving the capital to Chang'an, burning Luoyang. Fan Ye's fire at Luoyang burns away Eastern Han's last dignity. Wang Yan's chain plot used Lubu to kill Dong Zhuo. Chang'an cheered briefly, Li Zhu and Guo struck back. Chang'an chaos, Emperor Xian drifted east like a leaf on wind. Cao Pi welcomed the emperor to Shudu, Yuan Shao held Hebei, Liu Bei wandered, Sun Quan guarded Jiangdong. The book of the later Han ends when Emperor Xian abdicates. After that lies the records of the Three Kingdoms. If you heard our Three Kingdoms episode, treat tonight as prequel, Cao Cao's youth, Liu Bei's origins, Sun Jian against Dong Zhuo, many threads already here. Huan Fusong and Zhu Jun crushed the Yellow Turbans, high merit yet dared not seize power. Fan Yi gives them the restraint of great ministers. Lu Ji, teacher of Liu Bei and Gongsun Zan, appeared in the Yellow Turban War, later court struggle, prison, death and grief after release. Even a famous teacher cannot save a rotten system. Yuan Shao and Yuan Shu, 4 generations as 3 dukes, were warlord apprentices in this book. Cao Pi is not yet central as in the records of the Three Kingdoms, but the outline exists. In chaos, whoever holds troops holds the next page. Emperor Ling died, the young emperor succeeded. He Jin summoned Dong Zhuo to the capital to use frontier troops against eunuchs. The wolf entered the house. He Jin killed, eunuchs killed, capital bloodbath, Dong Zhuo in power. Fan Yi writes fast, like one night of rain. Do not memorize every blade. Remember, after this night central authority existed in name only. The later Three Kingdoms did not begin only at Red Cliffs. They began when Luoyang could no longer keep rules. How did Fan Yi write women? The book of the later Han has biographies of exemplary women, Ban Chao, the Lady Chao, Liang Hong and Meng Guang raising the tray together. Some chapters feel constraining today. That was the ethics of the age. Some stories still move, like Meng Guang's tray, not humiliation but ritual agreed between 2 people. You do not need to accept all. See that Eastern Han gentry families tied reputation, marriage, women's virtue, and men's careers in one net. Ban Chao, Bangu's sister, after Bangu died, Chao shows continuation of the Book of Han was unfinished. Ban Chao received orders to complete tables and treatises. The Lady Chao. She wrote admonitions for women on women's virtue, controversial today, than an instance of gentry women in learning. Fan Yi placed Ban Chao with Meng Guang and others. Eastern Han studies were not only men. Do not rush to judge at night. Remember, women too stood in the river of reputation. Exemplary women also holds fierce wives, devoted mothers, avenging daughters, some near legend. Our old rule, separate legend from record. Fan Yi chose models of women's virtue he thought representative. You may disagree, history is not scripture. Agree or not, you still see family ethics and pure stream integrity as 2 clouds under one social sky. A note on how to read. You do not need to chew page 1 to the end. Read like a character guide. Guangwu's Annals for Founding, Partisan Prohibitions, Li Ying, Fan Pang, Chen Fan for the pure stream, Ban Chao, Zhang Heng, Ma Yuan for variety, Annals of Emperors Huan and Ling to see the system rot. Fan Yi often ends chapters with Luan Yu, a brief judgment, like the author muttering at night. Do not skip, that is often the sharpest line. Zhenghua Book Company's punctuated edition is standard. Li Xian's commentary is Tang annotation on Fan Yi, like Pei Songji on the records of the Three Kingdoms, main text Fan Yi, small print later hands. If you only have time for one section, enter through the partisan biographies. Figures like candles and a road. Li Ying, Fan Pang, Zhang Jian, Shenshur each lit, wind decides if they go out. Then read Guangwu's Annals. Founding breath and final breath are not the same room. Fan Yi kept both ends for you to compare. Another gentle use of bedtime history. Do not aim to master Eastern Han, aim to recognize a few faces. How Li Ying spoke, how Ban Chao wrote, how Zhang Heng built instruments. Next time another book mentions them, nod like seeing an old neighbor on a street and walk on. The thickness of history need not be carried in one night. How does the Book of the Later Han differ from the Book of Han? Simply, the Book of Han leans institutions, Western Han Golden Age skeleton, land law, penal ritual, like an X-ray of empire. The Book of the Later Han leans people, late Eastern Han blood and cracks, eunuchs, consort kin, partisans, warlords, like listening to argument for 200 years. Ban Biao continued after the grand historian. Ban Gu finished the Book of Han. Ban Chao filled tables and treatises. Fan Yi, another dynasty's man writing another dynasty, more narrative, bolder on eunuch evil and scholar fire. Among the 24 histories it sits with the Book of Han and records of the three kingdoms, Western Han, Eastern Han, 3 kingdoms, 3 lines, 3 filing cabinets. The Book of Han has treatise on food and money, treatise on punishment excellent for institutions. The later Han has treatises to astronomy, geography, officials, dress, but most readers prefer biographies. Fan Ye's original lost some treatises by Song, modern edition supplement, do not wrestle that tonight. Bedtime listeners, biographies enough, stories hold choices. Treatises are appendix for waking hours. Sima Chen had feeling in narrative, Ban Gu valued elegance, Fan Yi likes praise and blame, Luan Yu a chapter ends off in one needle. Some call him subjective, some love his warmth. On Bedside Book Voice treat him as a historian chatting at night, he had loves and hates, yet still laid out materials. Fully neutral history does not exist, pure invention is not history. Fan Yi stands between. What does the partisan story have to do with today? Not copy-paste, recognition. Any age may hear truth called faction, reputation treated as threat, scholars choosing between silence and price. Fan Yi on Li Ying and Fan Pang is not telling everyone to die. He leaves coordinates, someone once, when softer was possible, chose harder. Did hardness save Eastern Han? No. Did it help later ages say the scholar may not be insulted? Yes. Integrity's price may be prison, death, lifelong ban, family harm. Integrity cannot make a rotten system heal itself. Eastern Han still fell. Without these chapters we would not know anyone chose this way. You may also ask, Fan Yi plotted rebellion, why write integrity? No comfortable answer. Perhaps because he too gambled, his pages do not float. Historians are not saints, they record and participate. Do not idolize Fan Yi, see a man who could write, was proud, fell. After the fall the book remained, Li Ying remained, Ban Chao remained. Books outlive lives, a common comfort in histories, also a common cruelty. Let us untie the thread beside the pillow. Fan Ye's rebellion is fact, his pure stream chapters are fact. No contradiction. Scholars often criticize power yet crave its recognition, cherish life yet one moment stake it. Fan Yi wrote no saints, Li Ying and Fan Pang were not saints, people who on one matter would not bend. Writer and written, centuries apart, speak the same contradiction. Fan Ye's plot implicated Kong Xian and others, before execution emperor when still prized his talent. Historians often say he relied on talent and pride. Pride let him write eunuch evil, pride let him think he could gamble once more in the power game. Li Ying's pride refused guilt, Fan Pang's pride surrendered himself, Fan Ye's pride thought the brush could save him, the brush could not, the book could. If tonight you remember only pride has a price, you have touched Fan Ye's line. Before sleep, no moral trial. Would you recruit students like Li Ying? Surrender like Fan Pang? No standard answer. History only places the question beside your pillow. Do not cast the pure stream as all good, faction fights had swagger, sides, boasts that look excessive today. Fan Yi did not write saints, that is why the record matters, people are gray, at some gate gray still holds a hard chip. If you are still awake, leave a comment, which pure stream name stays with you, or what integrity means to you now. If sleepy, subscribe, tap the bell, we are not rushing one night. Next time you may continue with the records of the Three Kingdoms or the Book of Han, stringing Western Han to Three Kingdoms slowly. Pause midway if not yet asleep, like and subscribe as leaving a lamp for the next history book. This channel is for books you can hear lying down. You do not need to finish Eastern Han in one night. Hearing Fan Yi, Li Ying, Ban Chao tonight is enough to wish them half a good night in dreams. Let us close. Eastern Han's 190 years, a lamp lit by Guangwu, steady through Ming and Zhang, smoke in Huan and Ling's eyes, wind blowing out under Emperor Xian. Fan Yi revised in prison, lifting faces from old paper a little brighter. No need to memorize reign years or titles. Remember one book left for those who stood straight in narrowing rooms. Integrity has a price, sometimes the price is life, without a price integrity sounds cheap. Before you close your eyes, if one name remains, Li Ying, Fan Pang, Ban Chao, Zhang Heng, anyone, the night was not wasted. This is Bedside Book Voice. Good night, see you in the pages.